Hello everyone, this is Carlos at the Bio CEO Investor Conference in New York, and I'm here with Denis Corin, the CEO of BioMed Inc. Denis, so glad to have you on the show. Can you tell me a little bit about your company?
Sure, thanks for having me. QBIO is a biotech accelerator, we call ourselves, and the idea behind QBIO was to structure a company that was going to be well-funded and well-capitalized and then go out and look for innovative, undervalued or underappreciated assets in the biotechnology space that we could bring both capital and sort of human strategic resources to help accelerate their development from whatever stage they were in to any kind of monetization or return on investment catalyst that we felt we could bring value to that would return value to us and to our shareholders. So kind of an investment thesis on biotech rather than a biotech incubator, really looking for great ideas, great science, great technology, excellent management, and how we can bring something additive to that scenario to help advance them and bring some kind of accelerated monetization to the project.
How did you come to that model of acquiring drugs and developing them, further rather than creating your own?
Well, I'm not a scientist by training. My degree is in economics and business development, and I kind of grew up in the pharmaceutical space in large pharma companies and their sales and marketing organizations, and then went to work for some smaller cap biotech companies. And I guess, I just sort of seen in my experience out there in the space that it's really difficult for big pharma companies to develop their own pipelines. They're looking more and more out into the sort of innovative fields of, smaller biotechnology companies where they're acquiring those assets. And then some of those smaller companies lack management or capital or just the knowledge on how to really fund their companies properly without running up, huge amounts of debt or really overcapitalizing their share structure, which ultimately causes them to collapse under their own weight. So I saw some opportunities and some synergies between big pharma looking for great assets, but they also needed strong, well-structured companies that could actually develop those assets to a point where they could be acquired. And I kind of put those two ideas together and decided to structure a company really well that could go out and look for those assets and present them either as revenue opportunities for us and for our shareholders or as great opportunities for pharma companies to look at investing in or acquiring or licensing.
What can you tell me about your current product pipeline?
So, we've only been around 3 years, but we've developed, I think, a pretty substantial pipeline with some really great value inherent in it, all the way from a near-term revenue opportunity in the Metron and strontium product, which is at the top of our pipeline. This is a product that's indicated for the treatment of metastatic cancers that are spread to the bone and the debilitating pain that causes. So this is primarily now used as a pain palliation drug, but we know that after 20 years of this drug being in the market, that there's a significant amount of evidence out there to support some progression-free survival data. Overall survival data has been seen when this drug has been used either in combination with other chemotherapeutic agents or external beam radiation therapies. So we see huge potential here to expand the label of that drug into the therapeutic space and out of the, or in addition to the pain palliation space. As well, we really like the opportunity to really rebrand and relaunch this product in the pain palliation market as physicians and doctors and clinicians and caregivers of patients who are, suffering in hospice care or in palliative care with this debilitating pain and that are being heavily prescribed opiates. And everybody's been asked to relook at how they use their opiate prescriptions and are there other therapies that are available to them. And Metron and the strontium drug are extremely effective drugs at pain palliation. 80% of patients see significant benefit. They can reduce their dependency on opiates. And again, as I said, we've seen huge improvements in quality of life, which can lead on its own to overall survival, but also progression-free survival data is out there to support an expanded label. So we see a really great blue sky opportunity with that drug. We have several other assets in the pipeline. We have an autism spectrum disorder drug that's going to be used for treating very young children who very sadly become minimally or completely nonverbal. These are kids on the autistic spectrum that are suffering from some cognitive defects and neurological defects that cause them to go further into their autistic states. They don't learn how to speak, and if they do learn to speak a little bit, they start to regress and not speak at all. And we found a drug that we think would be able to ameliorate those conditions neurologically and allow them to learn those developmental language skills that they need to be able to speak with their parents and their caregivers. So a huge opportunity to bring a very sorely needed drug to that marketplace where there's nothing available for these young children. And emotionally that offers a huge benefit, obviously, but economically we think there's a huge upside in that development of that asset as well. We have another oncology product that's for liver cancer, early stage, but again, $1 billion opportunity, an early stage asset, but shown some really good promise in the preclinical world. And then a glaucoma therapy that's actually a platform technology this is another one of those multi-billion-dollar opportunities. We spent 3 years working on this project with our technology partner, Mann Research, and there's been some tremendous interest in this from partners in the space and other ophthalmology companies that really think we're onto something here. And we look forward to working with them to developing this product for a very, very large market. It also has the applicability in other disease states like vascular diseases and kidney disease. So a really nice platform technology that we think will get a lot of value from as we grow and develop that pipeline.
So you have quite a diverse portfolio of drugs.
It's very diverse, and that's intentional as well. My idea with QBIOMed was not to pigeonhole ourselves into one therapeutic area or whatever's hot, today or gone tomorrow. CAR Ts or NASH; those are very hot topics right now, and a lot of people are looking at that area. We really wanted to look at anywhere where we thought there would be undervalued assets, things that needed some injection of capital or human resources to develop their value. To me, it doesn't really matter which therapeutic area it's in, as long as we can bring value to the equation, and together we can, advance that technology to some kind of catalyst or monetization. That's what's important to us and to our shareholders and our investors, and ultimately to the people that are investing in and inventing those products as well.
So what progress have you made when it comes to Metron and the autism-related drug?
Metron is a drug we acquired from GE a couple months ago. So really exciting for us to have access to that asset. It's approved in 22 countries around the world, which gives us, obviously a springboard to international or global revenue much, much quicker than we ever thought was going to be possible with our generic drug, which would have had to be registered in each one of those countries successively, and it would have cost a lot of money and taken a lot of time. So acquiring that asset and the trademarks and the market authorizations in all of those countries really accelerates our opportunity to generate revenue, and we'll be spending this 2019 year bringing each of those countries on board. You have to go through some regulatory sort of paperwork to change the ownership over to us, and then to get those regulators happy and comfortable with the drug coming out of the US rather than its former European manufacturer. So there's a little work to be done, but it gives us access to 22 countries really quickly, and the opportunity to grow those markets and the revenue, and to partner with different partners in those different jurisdictions, whether it's distributors or other manufacturers. So it gives us some global scope and opportunity to make global revenues fairly quickly. So we're really excited about that.
Great to hear. Now, looking forward, would you say that mergers and acquisitions in the pharmaceutical industry is going to be a theme in 2019 as it has been in 2018?
Yeah, I think large pharma's constantly looking for new innovative ideas, and a lot of those new innovative ideas are coming out of smaller companies just like QBIOMed. Big pharma are no longer relying on their own R&Ds to develop their own internal pipelines. So we've seen a lot of aggregation of assets in the space. We've seen a lot of acquisition from big pharma. Some of the largest deals in history have been done in the last 7 or 8 months. Multi-billion-dollar deals as bigger pharmas swallow up big pharmas, and that trickles all the way down to smaller companies like ours. So we've seen a lot of great opportunity to develop assets that we think will be very well positioned for acquisition or joint ventures or licensing with other larger and medium-sized pharmaceutical companies. And I don't see that business model changing in the near future. I think it's only going to get better.
Well, thanks for shedding some insight. This has been Denis Corin of QBIOMed Inc. Thank you for coming to my show.